Epictitus says, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. When you're going through a breakup, there are so many things that you can't control. If your ex is gonna find a new partner, what things you said to them in the past, how it might be awkward if you run into each other. And those things are the type of thoughts that consume your mind right now. But think about it. Thinking about those things you have no control over has absolutely zero utility in your life. Life will go on the exact same way whether you think about those things or not. But what if you focused on the things you could control? Like doing the thing you've been putting off for 6 months. Or calling that friend you lost touch with. Or finally getting into a workout routine and healthy eating. Those things you do have control over and will actually make you happier. It's so simple, yet so few people follow this principle. Focus only on what you can control. I like to practice this with a simple journaling exercise, where on the left side of the page, I put down things I can't control. And on the right, I put down the things I can. Then I read each item that I can't control and slowly cross it off, signaling to my brain to stop focusing on it. I then circle the things I can control and get on about my day. Hey, I'm Jake with Let's Be Stoic, and these are Stoic principles you can use to navigate a breakup. Seneca says we suffer more in imagination than reality, and that could not be more true with breakups. Most of the pain is playing things back in our heads more than anything else. Don't let yourself suffer in imagination. Figure out what triggers the suffering in your head and stop it at the source. Is it when you're scrolling on social media and you see a picture of your ex? Then immediately deactivate your social media, no questions asked. Is it when you wake up in the morning and you lay in bed dreading the day thinking about your ex? Then force yourself to go on a walk immediately when you wake up. This principle is truly life-changing. If you can stop suffering in imagination, breakups will become much easier to navigate. Marcus Aurelius says, how much more harmful are the consequences of anger and grief than the circumstances that arouse them in us? What he's saying here is to completely stop self-sabotaging yourself. Stop making things worse than they already are. If you're going through a breakup, trying to call your ex 10 times isn't going to help. Getting blackout drunk isn't going to help. There's no quick fix. The quickest way to get over a breakup is to not dig yourself in a hole deeper than you already are. If you can do this, navigating your breakup will be significantly easier. Marcus Aurelius also says, don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to fulfill just like a soldier on the wall of battle. So what if you're injured and can't climb up without another soldier's help? So much of Stoicism is about focusing on yourself, but also remind yourself that seeking help from others is crucial. That doesn't mean seeking their validation or approval of you. It means getting their wisdom and strategies and tactics for how they dealt with a similar situation. This could take the form of a friend or a parent, or maybe someone you look up to. It could be a therapist, it could be a book, but don't be afraid to take wisdom from other people. We are all humans, we all feel the same emotions, we live in the same world together. Lean on other humans to help you understand how to live your life. And by the way, you can always subscribe to the free Stoic newsletter packed with tangible tips on how to practice Stoicism. I'll leave a link in the description where you can go subscribe now. Marcus Aurelius says, don't let your reflection on the whole sweep of life crush you. Don't fill your mind with all the bad things that might happen. Stay focused on the present situation and ask yourself why it's so unbearable and can't be survived. If you're amidst a breakup and find yourself having a difficult time functioning, then it's time to put one foot in front of the other and focus on the present. Don't focus on what plans you have later today or what's going to happen next month. Focus on the next task, no matter how small. Is it taking a walk after watching this video? Is it going back to work and sending an email? When life becomes too much, make it really simple by focusing on the next task until you can reset and see clearly again. Seneca was told, I can teach you a love potion made without any drugs, herbs, or special spell. If you would be loved, love. You're most likely feeling some sort of anger towards your ex, even if the breakup was on good terms. You're mad about the things that they said, what they did to you, how they hurt you, but when has anger or hatred ever made your life any better? Focusing on your anger and trying to get revenge means that you're not focusing on bettering yourself, you're focused on something else. Holding a grudge or staying angry is completely preventing you from moving forward in your life, and it might even be making you move backwards. There's almost no circumstance in which hate is the way to respond. It's always better to respond with empathy or at least acceptance. No matter how angry you are at your ex, no matter what they did to you, you will only get over the breakup faster and become better if you let go of that anger. If you're having trouble letting go of this anger, there are several strategies you can use to head in the right direction. One of my favorites is by using a ritual. One could be a prayer to whatever higher power you believe in, or writing your feelings down on a paper and burning it or throwing it away. This ritual is more than just a passing thought, it's a commitment signaling to your brain that you are truly ready to let go of anger and hate. Marcus Marcus Aurelius says, while it's true that someone can impede our actions, they can impede our intentions and our attitude, which have the power of being conditional and adaptable. This is one of the most powerful principles of Stoicism. You can't change that the breakup happened, but what you can change is how you perceive it going forward. Are you going to let this breakup leave you in a pit of despair, or are you going to use it as a way to practice becoming a better person? For example, let's say your ex called you something hurtful that you haven't been able to stop thinking about. You can either take this hurtful thing and let it dictate your life for the next 3 months, or you can use it as an opportunity to practice forgiveness. Because you can bet that friends and family and significant others in the future might say something hurtful to you too. You can actually use this negative situation right now as a preparation for what lies ahead in your life. Think about how powerful that is. Any negative situation can be reframed to learn and prepare and become stronger. And you've seen this play out so many times in real life. Oftentimes, the hardest times in our life are followed by incredible growth and achievement, while times with no adversity can leave us stagnant and unfulfilled. The breakup happened, now you can decide whether to use it as a tool to help you grow or as an obstacle that impedes you from living. Marcus Aurelius says, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Breakups can be one of the most negative seasons of your life. You're constantly thinking about what you and your partner did wrong, you're thinking about worst case scenarios, and you're constantly surrounding yourself with negative energy. But sometimes you forget about the beauty of life, the precious privilege that it is to be alive. Even to go through the experience of love is beautiful in itself, even if it didn't end up working out. Marcus Aurelius talks about the way bread cracks in the oven and wheat stalks bend before the wind. For you, it could be as simple as being grateful for your bed or the food that you ate. Just like it's always a good idea to respond with love, it's always a good idea to respond with gratefulness. Spend 5 minutes every morning writing down 5 things you're grateful for. They could be completely random and small. Doing this will train your brain to take a step back and embrace the beauty that is life, even amidst a sad time like a breakup. And lastly, remember that it's okay to cry. Marcus Aurelius, arguably the most influential Stoic in human history, cried many times. Often people think that if you want to practice Stoicism, you can't show emotion. But even the greatest Stoic ever felt strong emotion. Marcus's father, Antoninus, said that neither philosophy nor empire takes away the natural feeling. The best thing you can do right now during a breakup is to let yourself feel emotions. You are human and you are experiencing a real emotion. Instead of shying away from it, accept that you are feeling it and embrace it head on. Don't think that bottling up your emotions is going to make things any better. Instead, learn how to direct your emotions using some of the strategies we talked about. As you can see, Stoicism doesn't reinvent the wheel. It actually does the opposite. Most of its principles are sayings and lessons you've heard many times. But actually putting these things into practice is how they become effective. I have a challenge for you. Take one lesson you learned from this video and start journaling about it every day for a week for 15 minutes. Then pick another lesson and do that same thing. Do this for a month and you'll have 4 lessons that you've truly meditated on that could potentially change the course of your life. Although Stoicism isn't a cure for everything, it can help you frame your thoughts and get you over the hump of a breakup. Good luck to you all. I'm Jake with Let's Be Stoic, and have a great day.